Hi there students. In this video I wanted to look at 6 different words: ravenous, rapacious, voracious, insatiable, mercenary and grasping. Okay, these are all words that are talking about getting things or getting food, about appetite. So the first word is ravenous. Ravenous means very hungry. So if you go to somebody's house and they say, "I hope you're hungry," the normal answer, or one of the normal answers, is, "I'm ravenous. I'd been working all day and I was ravenous when I came home." So if you're ravenous, you are extremely hungry. You can use ravenous as a metaphor, meaning to be very eager or to have a strong desire to get something. But most normally ravenous is only used for food. Yeah, you can use it for other metaphoric things, but I think I would choose other words rather than this one. And I would recommend with ravenous, stick to food. So, I don't know, you go to your mum's house for lunch and she says, "I hope you're ravenous because I've prepared 22 different things for you to eat." Yeah, it depends on your appetite. Notice ravenous, we also have another word, ravening or to raven. Animals and people raven when they are extremely hungry. A ravening animal is a ferocious hunting animal because it's hungry, because there isn't enough to eat. Yeah, so ravening wolves were running all over the area, okay, in the middle of winter. So they were driven crazy by hunger. So if you're ravening, you're absolutely mad because you need to eat. You want to eat. I must eat. Or to raven. Okay, the next word is rapacious. Rapacious means excessively greedy. But notice rapacious is more for acquiring things, money, power, influence. So rapacious, an excessive desire to acquire material things. So you could describe the banks as rapacious. They always want more money. They're greedy for more. Advertising is a very good tool for rapacious businesses. Okay, so rapacious is talking about being aggressive, trying to get things. The competitors in the market were very rapacious. They were acquiring things aggressively. Notice this word rapacious comes from Latin, rapax, which means greedy, grasping. Okay, an animal can also be rapacious. A rapacious animal is a hunter that kills other animals, prey, generally in large numbers. So there were rapacious wolves killing the farmers' flocks. Rapacious is what a hunting animal does by nature. And maybe rapacious is saying they're very good at it. But notice the difference between rapacious and ravening. A rapacious animal, a fox, hunts everything it can and as much as it can. If you have a ravening animal, this is an animal that is driven crazy by hunger and will eat anything that it can catch. So ravening, rapacious wild animals are extremely dangerous. Rapacious, they are good hunters and kill lots of things, and ravening, they've been driven crazy by hunger. Okay? Notice as well, Rapacious can also talk about people getting things by force, to take things by force, even though people don't want to give them to you. So you could have rapacious pirates, pirates that go along the coast, sinking and robbing other ships in large numbers. The soldiers were rapaciously taking the things in the city that had fallen, aggressively and greedily, to plunder, if you like. Notice the vegetation in the jungle grows rapaciously. Rapacious vegetation. It spreads and colonizes everything extremely rapidly. Okay, it takes control aggressively and greedily. So notice rapacious in English is quite a negative thing. If you use rapacious as an adjective, you are criticizing. Whereas ravenous, it doesn't really mean positive or negative. And ravening, probably very negative. Okay, the next word is voracious. If you are voracious, you want or you eat a lot of food. Voracious normally talks about an appetite for food. So young kids are voracious. They will eat lots and lots and lots of things. Voracious, needing a lot of something to be satisfied. A voracious appetite. A voracious carnivore, somebody that eats a lot, a predator that eats a lot. Notice voracious we do use in metaphors and can be quite positive. So my kids have a voracious appetite. I'm not being negative, I'm being a little bit proud. A voracious desire for knowledge, will learn everything that they can. Okay, so voracious can be positive. It can also be used negatively, but I think voracious is more normally a positive word. Although a voracious predator, well, a voracious predator is a predator that eats a lot. So in this case, maybe it's almost just neutral. Notice this comes from the Latin vorare, okay, which is talking about to eat. Look at the words carnivore, omnivore, to devour. It's talking about eating, yeah? Okay, as in ravenous, I guess the "ven" bit is about this eating. Okay, yes, formality. I think voracious is probably a slightly formal word. You could speak it, but you could also use it in one of your presentations. Rapacious is clearly quite a formal word. It's quite literary and very descriptive. Ravenous, I would say, is neutral formality. It's the normal thing to say, I'm hungry. And ravening, that's quite a complex and formal word. Anyway, let me continue. The next word is insatiable. Insatiable means impossible to satisfy, impossible to sate, S-A-T-E, to sate. Somebody that's insatiable is always wanting more. Now, we use the adjective insatiable, most typically to talk either about hunger or about sex. I think if you said she is insatiable, it means she always wants more and more sex. Okay? I think insatiable on its own, somebody that's insatiable, well, the first thing people will think about is sex. Although you can be insatiable wanting more knowledge, an insatiable desire for attention, an insatiable hunger. But I think insatiable, either food or sex. So what about formality? I think insatiable is a slightly formal word again. unless you're using it about sex. So insatiable talking about sex, neutral formality. But an insatiable appetite for knowledge, an insatiable thirst to learn more, that is slightly formal and would sound good in your written works. Okay, the next word is mercenary. A mercenary is a soldier for hire. A soldier who will go and work for anybody that pays him, or the people that pay him more. A professional soldier that will go to any war anywhere as long as they are paid properly. But very often we use mercenary to mean somebody that only wants money, and very often at the cost of ethical things, morality. So somebody who is mercenary is probably prepared to do things that are not quite right as long as you pay them. Somebody could have a mercenary attitude. Yeah, this means that they are motivated by personal gain, okay, or money. So mercenarily he said, if you pay me, I'll help you. Yeah, give me money and I'll do it. Otherwise, I won't. Yeah, so mercenary, somebody who does things for money or for a reward, not from the goodness of their heart. A mercenary attitude, somebody who only will do things if they gain from it. A sycophant, somebody who sucks up, who's very nice to someone they don't really like. They're being totally they are agreeing with this person and laughing at their jokes, even though they don't think they're funny, because like that they gain something. They gain position, they gain promotion. Yeah, somebody who's mercenary is materialistic. They want things, and it doesn't matter what they do for it. So mercenary. I think mercenary is a slightly formal word as well and would look very good in your written work, although you could use it in spoken English without any problem. So somebody that's mercenary, somebody who does things because they're going to get something back, and it probably implies they won't do them if they don't get something. Venal, if you like. Okay, this brings me to the last word, grasping. To grasp is to hold on to move and take suddenly. The child grasped my hand, to grasp, to hold on to. But if you call somebody grasping, you're calling them greedy, rapacious or avaricious, if you like. I think the difference between rapacious and grasping, rapacious is aggressively greedy, is aggressively grasping. Grasping is somebody who just wants to get things for themselves. Yeah, it doesn't talk about their motives as in mercenary. A rapacious a grasping character, somebody who's always out to get everything they can for themselves, to get more and more. So maybe the grasping landlord has increased the rent again and says, I have to pay the insurance as well. A grasping character. Another difference between grasping and rapacious, is that grasping is a neutral word, and maybe even slightly informal, whereas rapacious is much more formal. So grasping is much lower formality. He's really grasping, and I don't like him because he's always just looking for what's in it for him. What's in it for me? A grasping attitude. Yeah, somebody who's grasping. Not very nice. So notice, out of all of these, the only one that could be really used positively, I think, is voracious, or maybe insatiable as well. But apart from that, all the others are well, maybe ravenous is neutral, but rapacious, mercenary and grasping, these are all nasty characteristics of people. So let me go through them again just before we finish. So if you're ravenous, you are really hungry. I really need to eat. I'm ravenous. Rapacious, aggressively greedy, somebody who's always trying to get more, somebody who's grasping but in a very aggressive way. Rapacious, an excessive desire to acquire things. Voracious, having a very large appetite, yeah, very difficult to satisfy. And somebody who's insatiable is somebody who's impossible to satisfy. So if you are insatiable, you are so voracious that nothing will satisfy you. Notice insatiable particularly for food and for sex, yeah, okay. So, teenagers can be insatiable when it comes to sex. Okay, mercenary. A mercenary is a soldier who you pay to do what you want him to do, to kill who you want to kill in a war. But a mercenary person is somebody who does things because like that they get money or they get something back. And then grasping, somebody who wants to get as much as they can. They are avaricious or greedy. Yeah, rapacious but without the aggressive connotation. And then remember, ravenous, neutral formality, rapacious, formal, voracious, formal, insatiable, when it's sex I think it's neutral, but when it's other things I think it's probably slightly formal, mercenary, which is formal, and grasping, which is neutral or maybe slightly informal. Anyway, enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Ravenous, rapacious, voracious, insatiable, mercenary, and grasping.